Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF at T3Live.com. Here, just another weekend video here. So far, we're coming in. We got earnings season kicking in, so that's really a lot of the plays that we're going to be doing this week. But it's also the last week of the month, and you can see the SPY 30 here, still putting in the series of higher lows and just chugging along. And that's what even there's times when it seems real boring. But that monthly momentum hammer is still in force, and any time that we have full time frame counting to the upside, you want to be aware of that, because this momentum takes it right to the highs, and that's what the momentum hammers do when they work. And so far, this one worked. We've got a week left in the month till that expires, and we'll see how that goes. Get a QQQ hammer up. Still got some room on this baby, but once again, not stopping. It gets a little boring. Doji day. Inside day up, that was nice, and still walking towards the highs. You got Apple earnings coming out this week, and Apple doing all sorts of nothing in front of the earnings, really. Still an inside month, but it would be a shooting star week in here and a lower high, but earnings can jumble all that, so we'll see how that goes. The real boring fest is over at the small cappers, but in the end, green week. But if you look at this daily, this is a nightmare, and you're just doing nothing. But in the end, it resolves, or attempts to resolve, at least closes on a Friday on the highs and the green across the board. But if you look at the monthly, remember this. We're talking about, remember down in here, I was talking about these series of lower highs, and if this market's going to rip or stuff like this is going to take this out, or it was going to roll down here when this series, and that's not what happened. It had a chance here. It didn't happen. Came back up. Doji start all over, and then now is moving up. So now these highs of 120 have just gotten taken out. So on the weekly, you are at a slight higher high in there. But when you have something like this, a lot of people look like a Bollinger Band tight pinch. And if you trade those, hopefully by now you know that oftentimes it doesn't just rip one direction. It'll chop both ways, a la price discovery, broadening formations. And so if you take a look at this here on a shorter term basis, let's go a little bit longer. Let's go 30. What's this? Here, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, and up into there. And on the 60, here you can see all this business in here. And so it's going to try and take out the lows, going to try and take out the highs. And so that's more likely to do that. It's more likely to attempt one side than attempt the other side. And so the question is whether they're going to drop back in. No new actionable signals there and running out a month, but that's what's going on over there. And you go to TLT, went bullish engulfing and then tried to pop back up. So that's going to resolve here or close out as a weekly hammer. Still slightly red on the month. So it backs off, which is not uncommon after all this business, that beautiful inside month and up there. But trying to counter that monthly direction with a weekly hammer. We'll see how that goes. VXX still doing its job and still awaiting the announcement of the reverse split. We haven't gotten that yet. UVXY reverse splits on Monday. So Monday night we're going to have the barbecue, the annual reverse split barbecue, and we're kind of hoping that the market would pull in, so when it reverse splits it'd be a little bit higher, but so far not so much. So we'll see how that goes. We got the Dow Jones Diamonds inside day, and so here once again you can see this gets real tight, goes outside day, inside day, slightly up, pops up, then drops back in, now inside day. So if we drop down, you can see how this outside bar would be a fractal triangle, and we could maybe come into there. But at this point, still, like many things, the monthly momentum hammer into the moonshot. But at any time, that can also exhaust, because the reason these work is because you're stopping, having people, at least in this case, people who are big size positioned incorrectly or adding to their short position after the Brexit, getting it handed to them. So it's a matter of, if they have covered, that the buyers need to continue to step up. And so at any time that could exhaust. But anytime we do have full time frame counting the upside, we know it's on. Not too much going on in the Dow here. That got some earnings coming up. But you got Coke going inside week. And we know that defensive posture, because Dr. Pepper's right on the highs, and Pepsi here is also an inside week. So we'll see how that goes. We also got the Home Depot. It's an inside day, so we'll see how the inside day goes. And the good thing about an inside day and the broader averages is that once it breaks, you have some good evidence on who's breaking with it, who stays inside for Tuesday. So Home Depot starting off as an inside day in the Dow, and you're going to have Lowe's Corp, and I'm going to get to a whole bunch of retailers here. But another thing that's important about the last week of a month, or the tail end of a week, is that you can look at things that you probably don't want to be trading, because anything that's still a doji come Wednesday on the weekly, you probably don't want to be doing. It's not doing anything, or it's still inside. So anything that's still inside on this month, or a doji for this month, probably don't want to touch. All right, not for at least another week. So that's important to remember. When things are occurring and what's going on in the bigger pictures. Where it's going to be real interesting here is trannies. The trannies go inside week here. So this weekly bar right here is just Friday. It shows me what formed this. But this inside week for the tranny. So the tranny's taking out some slight higher highs out of this stuff. Question is going to be strong enough to go up. Sideways measured moving here. Here was your momentum hammer there, and then up towards that. So in the trannies, you got American Airlines momentum hammer there. You can remember the hammer coming off the lows. That was a butte. Now there's momentum because it's coming into the highs. If we go to the recent highs, and you can see this on a short-term basis here. You can see it gets up in here and people are like, it's overbought, and get short. Then it gaps down. They think they've got it. And then it pops back and gaps back up on them. And they had this chance to cover, and they didn't. So it's momentum hammer daily and weekly if they want to take that out. If we go to Alaska Air, there's another hammer there on the weekly to keep an eye on. If you go to Delta, inside week, a little bit weaker, and we got some bad news out of Southwest Air, so they're still having some computer problems, so we'll see how that affects everybody. In the rails, you got CNI just starting off as an inside day. Inside day. You've got CP rail as an inside day, and that's I've seen if we can get a measured move out of that, it'd be real nice. It goes shooter, but then inside day, and we'll see how that goes. Because remember, on the longer term stuff like CSX is inside day, inside week here, and still rev strat month to the upside. Inside month opens and closes back in on that equilibrium and up. If we go to KSU the same, inside day, and it's not inside week, it's inside day, but rev strat month to the upside. Norfolk Southern's rev strat to the upside, inside week, inside day combination. We've got Union Pack, which has been leading the charge here, but now it just has this outside day here to form the weekly hammer. And we'll see how that goes. All right, and remember, on the weekends, everything's just a blueprint. Once Monday starts in motion, then you got to look for that reconfirmation of all the time frames and the new actionable signals. So let's get to TRN and the rail cars. TRN is inside month and up here. Okay, go trannies. If we go to UPS, interesting here. UPS goes inside week. However, problemo is this. This hitting the top of the triangle almost to the tick-tock ticky there, and it is green on the month, but if it's going to go through it, that's what it would look like. You just want to be aware of something like that anytime it starts challenging those slight higher highs. If we go to FedEx, you got an inside week, and maybe there's a little bit more to go. You got to take out this series of lower highs, but this certainly would be the setup to do it. And if you go to the daily, here goes up, corrective activity, and hopefully inside week can challenge all this stuff. EXPD. Also, you can see a little bit stronger here has been inside week here, and that'd be right spitting distance toward the recent highs. So you can watch all those grouped together. If we go to XLU, still getting the job done. Utes outside week to the upside. I'll shrink that down so you can see it. Go Utes and the usual suspects, but EXC, you've been watching this one for months, and still going. I mean, this is one of those ones that a lot of these Utes go ripping into the highs, and this thing's nowhere near it. Even you come back into this stuff, but now this monthly triangle we've been watching since this hammer up, and then here's a little sideways action, so you still got some room on that, and actually was gorgeous on Friday, inside day, and up there. If we go to the REITs, also defensive REITs, VNQ still going. Monthly VNQ, Ripper, and then if you go to AVB, more of the monthly hammer counter shooter, now an inside week. Still got some room to go to the new all-time highs. BDN here, inside week there, and been watching this monthly triangle for a while too. We've talked about this many times, and now trying to set up the monthly Momo hammer for next month. But EQR here, still above a monthly hammer, and nowhere near the highs. That's good because it's above monthly hammer and inside week combination here, hopefully. We've got BXP still Inside month and up, that's working like a charm. Thank you. Bam. And get your O face on, letter O. And letter O coming in here with the RevStrat week. Inside week goes down, comes back, hammers against it. So 2-bar inside pattern and try and get outside of that. If we go to the XME, XME still inside month and up. Got a red week, but it's still inside month and up, and there's still a lot of signals going on over there. Certainly gold having a red month. So the question is this shooter going to be the top of a triangle and drop back in next month? Or does it just stall after this business and then go back on our merry way? You're going to start the week off as an inside day, and they're going to give you an inside day in GDX and the inside day Nuggy, JNUG, and all your pals. So if we take a look at a few of those, ABX would be RevStrat to the downside daily, but it's a 2-bar pattern. And a little bit of a problem, just like on the monthly, it did come up and hit this triangle here and then back off. It is red on the month like gold. And EGO here has dropped back into the inside month. That's not good either, and we'll see if the underlier breaks one way or the other, because GG doing the same. But, these things can heat up fast, so we'll see how that goes. If you go to AU different. It's on the top of the triangle, but it's green on the month, and that's good. It's green on the month and a momentum hammer weekly. So if we start to resolve upside, that's how you can flip between stocks into different sectors. CDE, also monthly or weekly momentum hammer, bright green on the month. If we go to Newmont, weekly momentum hammer right on the highs, green on the month. FNV just comes down here on the daily. This is interesting. It is red on the month, but it comes down this inside day here, and it goes right here. Right there, the old triangle support. And remember, support and resistance moves higher. It's not a horizontal line. And so when you see this broadening formation here, right up in here, we can expect a little bit of support, and that's what you're seeing there. So inside day for that. We'll see how that goes. If we go to Alcoa still inside month and up for you. Not by much, but it is. And you're also going inside week. ATI. Inside weekly momentum hammer. Inside month and up still. Go to CLF, our buddy. CLF, the comeback is still on after the inside month break here. And now, CLF going inside week momentum hammer. Here. Go to FCX, weekly momentum hammer, still RevStrat month. Here. If you go to SLX Steel, still inside month and up. Letter X, still inside month and up, and weekly momentum hammer. Combination. If you go to Nucor, a little bit different story. Got hit a little bit harder on that weekly, starting off as an inside day, so we'll see if that keeps crapping out, or that inside day is an exhaustion of this selling and right back up. If we go to AKS, you just got yourself an inside day there. STLD, some more steel, inside day. Problemo here would be your bearish engulfing week, so we'll see how that goes either way on that stuff. CRS, another one here, and CRS just an inside week, so watch a bunch of them. It's also inside month and up at this point. So metals can be a little interesting. Once again, we got to remember this month is about to exhaust, and there's a lot of earnings coming out, and that's why this video is going to be shorter than you're used to. FAS goes inside week. The financials. XLF goes inside week. You got KRE going inside week. And the thing about this, once again, a lot of these things are just going to go inside month. And so a lot of that's going to be, the real moves might come in August. And we remember last August, so could be fun. Anywho, here's what we got. KRE inside week, just like you see this monthly, with the big monthly triangle. They got them good up here and down in here and right back in the middle and looking like an inside month. But, we'll see. We've got on the weeklies, anyway, you never know when we get a simultaneous break, but you got JP Morgan inside week looking like an inside month. You've got, and you can see these tight ranges that are causing these inside weeks here. And that's why you want to be really aware of when you're trading something that's inside on a longer term time frame. That's when people say it's choppy, that's why. All right, so looking in here, it's like, it's going to puke. No, it's going to rally. It's going to puke. It's going to puke. No, it's going to rally doing nothing really in here. So, and that's forms the inside week. And so, when you get into Wednesday and you see something like that, you just want to be aware that it's doing nothing, right? And so, whatever your mind is creating is false if you're thinking it's going to do anything. So, anyway, this is what it is. Citicorp, Wells Fargo. Once again, inside week, inside month stuff. So we're just going to try and see if not can we get a break, or do we set up a rev strat to start off next month that would break the month. So it's always want to look at these setups of what could be what. If either way, what would they form in the future as well? So BBT, more regional bank, and that's right near the highs. And so that here would take that out, and that would not be inside month. If we can take this out, potentially a combination there. So that's a little bit closer to doing something. Goldman Sachs, just going inside day. And remember this monthly here came down into this stuff, and the problem with this here, the weekly, just slight higher highs off of this stuff. So the question is going to be strong enough to eventually take that out, or is this going to be the lower high? And like many things here, you're starting off the week as an inside day. If you go to VSR daily momentum hammer, and what it looks like on the short term is this. Whew, crush it. Inside, and rally all the way back up. Closes a 15 momentum hammer, caused the daily momentum hammer, and the weekly triangle looking like this. So we'll see if there's anything to that to take a shot up into there. The insurers really still plugging along here, and HIG had a nice day on Friday here, and on the monthly, what that does is it's still inside, but this is a rev strat here, so it's either going to go inside month, potential triggering rev strat, which is good because you get the stops here, and here, or it just takes the rev strat out this week. So we'll see. You got Aflac still going, and Aflac, one of those things. It's inside week on the high, so it either triangles back down a little bit or just a rest before more ripping. Aon, doing the same momentum hammer on the highs, not inside, but momentum hammer on the highs on the weekly, as well as that monthly never really got going, but you still got a week left, and it didn't go down, so that's a good thing. If we go to crude oil, UWTI, and the UWTI here, interesting because it's been drifting lower like this, and everybody's like, the market's following oil. It's like, no, it ain't. Not recently, anywho, because we came rallying off the lows, and now we've had this series of just walking down. The market goes to new highs. So what that's causing is a delay in any help from the Euro sector. And so if you look at XLE goes inside week, and it looks like an inside month. And so this, once again, you get towards the month here, and the hopes was either oil goes up or down, and if oil starts dropping, you can start shorting these things, and they just don't go down. So just XLE, you got OIH going inside month, you got XOP, inside, outside, inside triple doji month. And so when you see something like that, you're just going to get killed. In general, it's not the neighborhood you want to be in because it's just reverse consolidation. So if we go to Chever, however, has been walking up just a tad. And remember, we had this inside week here 2 weeks ago, and that worked. Now inside week here near the highs, you got ExxonMobil. Not quite an inside week, but still green on the month, but somewhat of a doge here. But nice comeback here. So right when you get the middle of this kind of business, not uncommon to stall out just a touch. So you want to be careful in this sector because you got stuff like APA here, APA inside month. So come August, unless there's a discernible oil move, which we've already had somewhat of one, but looks like they're waiting to see the real move, because whenever you come back like your USO, whenever you have this comeback here and you go down and then you come back into here, the question is, where's the real range? Is this corrective activity before really puking again, or is it just going to somewhere stabilize and at that point, then it's a little easier to, from the way some people do it, to analyze the companies, because you've got a discernible range. Right now, nobody's really sure where it's gonna end up. If we go to Concho, CXO, here a little bit stronger, and you got Concho starting off as here. Inside week here, trying to get out of this. You can see the slight higher highs there, the slight lower lows, and you're back in the middle, but you do have an inside hammer to keep it on. Ion, we keep puking. You got G-Por here, is rev strat month to the downside, very slightly, but inside month countered with shooter back in. WLL, Piggy, and this is one of those things he's taking some of the brunts of the beating when the oil goes back down. And going inside weak. So the question is, how do you get out of this? Here's your slight higher highs, or not even slight, higher highs. And there. So we want to see how it handles this. Is it down, sideways, inside measured move, and back into oblivion, which is, or is this corrective and then back up? So watch that inside weak for WLL. CWEI. Always lots of fun, and an inside week there too. This thing can jump around a little bit. It's been a little dry of late, and thus the inside week. But on that daily, there's some real beefy moves in here that can still be taken advantage of. So we'll keep an eye on that week. If you go to the oil services, you got Slumber J outperforming after laying some people off. So on the monthly, that's good because it's still green. It's not quite inside, I don't believe. I think that took that out. Yes. So a bit outperforming. How far it's going to go, that's another story. We got no actionable signals. You did have outside day to the upside. Halliburton, however, does go daily hammer, but Halliburton is going to go inside month here. Looks like it, outside of a pretty big move this week. If we go to Chesapeaker, the Natty, Chesapeaker's got a few days left on an inside month and up above 514. You can watch that with the Natty. If we go to the refiners, and the refiners last week thought we might get something out of these things. Here's HFC monthly, and this is going to be real interesting here how it handles this come the new month. Here, right? Here's this stuff. So this was higher than that, but they couldn't take this out. So this was corrective action. This is how the broadening formation works. Mighty tough to stay short up in here on the third higher high. It's like, oh, we're going to the highs, and that peak. And here's your inside month right there that gave this measured move. Now it's doji on the month, but as far as these refiners are concerned, inside weak, and sometimes these triangles get really tight, and I talked about that in the market wrap up, and that's why you're getting some divergent breaks. He's still doji on the month, inside week, and so we had Tesoro go up, but then come back and try and go rev strat down, such as life in doji month here. And you have Valero, the same, and then MPC. MPC takes out both sides, and then you have PSX trying to go rev strat upside. And what that tells me is that there's a lot of tight triangle stuff in here that needs to resolve, and so that needs to grow. But we can keep an eye on how the motion of the ocean goes with those things as the triangles get bigger. If you go to IBB, so IBB's been fairly strong of late. Nice month. Still inside, but it's green. So still trying to see what is this? What is all this? Does this resolve up? And once it gets up here, does it stay up here? Once again, that pattern, we've been looking at this here, and that's like FAS here on the monthly. Now FAS coming up that inside month, trying to challenge these being lower highs again, and that would be good, just much like the small cappers here are taking care of business. So IBB, question is, what is this stuff, and do we stay inside month? For right now, we come in with no new actionable signal, and these three lower highs. How do we resolve this? Are they going to triangle these guys up and take this stuff out? So far, we'll see. We have no actionable signal to do it, but you got earnings coming up from GILD. That would help. And right now, going doji week into the tight triangle stuff into the earnings. So we'll let that resolve because you had BIIB get the job done over here, and that was a real mess. It looked like it was the end of the world, and then she triangled them back up, and so that's good. Just no new actual signal there either. Celgene here, this weekly is fairly tight too, and like a bunch of these monthlies, how do we get out of all this stuff? All right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of this stuff. How do we get out of here? And you're running out of month, but you are green, so no new actionable signals there either. Regeneron here would still be an inside month. The good part about here was an outside month, inside month, fractal triangle to try and get out of here. And you do have your lower low after that higher high, so the hopes is you can try and go back up on that because you did have weekly hammer last week, but that's exhausted. So question is this where they got them? And then you can take a shot at all this stuff. It is starting off as an inside day, and on the daily, you're going to see this. Yeah. Like so. Bam, 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 bam. So the question is going to be strong enough to come and take a shot at this stuff. If we go to Amgen, Amgen on the move, baby, and Amgen takes care of business here. Outside bar, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, and what do you know? Higher high. Did that thing. If you go to the monthly, a little bit different. So it's challenging all this stuff here right now. Now you got a slight higher high, and you got no new actionable signals would be the problem, but you are challenging all this stuff right now, at least for now, and we'll see how that goes. If we go to ABC, still inside month and up, running out of month. IONS still inside month and up slightly, running out of month, but going inside day. EW here is RevStrat month to the upside and inside week, so keep an eye on that thing too to try and get out of this and take a shot at that, or it just drops back in. And Juno Mash, Juno Piggy, but Juno going inside week here, so we'll see how that goes. Juno, interesting because we know how it got slammed and then dove again, and so this would be a momentum shooter inside week combination if they want to put her out of her misery like they do their clients. No, that's not funny. Anyway, XRT Retail was Doji Hammer month here, right, to the upside. So still nowhere near the highs, but you've got that slight lower low here that's higher than this. That's good. So we'll see if we can take a shot at all this stuff. And that daily did just its job down in here. The triangle went bam, 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 bam. So what the question is, what is this stuff and how do we get out of there? A lot of individual basis there. You got Walmart and also Dow Jones. Real chop shop though here on the way up, but does go inside week. Look at this. Does give you the old doji week, so maybe you get something out of that. And if you go to Costco not inside here, but bright green month still. Heading, trying to take out the highs. You can see that slight lower lows there, and that bottom of the triangle, and then bam, and this daily, a bit of a nightmare like we've been seeing a lot of things, but not going down. So as yet, so you got Target. Target finally, got the job done. That was inside month and up. It still is. So the comeback is still on. It's going to have a tough time not taking this out, but that's what we were looking for, and we got it. If we go to Casey Jones, Casey's General Store still hanging around the highs. And see if they want to keep sticking it to them up, sideways, inside week measured move, and go ripping into new all-time highs. We'll see how that goes. We go to DDS, Dillard's Department Store. See this weekly triangle now an inside week above the inside month. And so that's a lot of stuff that we've been watching that are coming out of the basement here. The Macy's doing the same thing, inside month, inside week. Here, still fighting for life, and bam, 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 to see if we can resolve by taking all that out. And right now, you got potential monthly, weekly combo. RH, oh boy. Well, inside week, but looking like an inside month, and sometimes that's what it takes to try and turn this garbage around. When you get murdered like this, give yourself an inside month, and then we'll talk. And so that's what it looks like what's coming. But you got inside week to start. Ross Stores gets the job done on the inside month up to the highs. Ulta just doesn't stop. Ulta just carrying them out, corpse style. So. Yeah, if you think that things get overbought and they got to come in, no, they don't. You might try and get out a little bit and then go inside day and then off to the races again, right? So on the highs, not much more you can say. It's straight Momo. If you go to Yum Brands going inside. They turn this thing around. How about that as an inside week? Inside week back to the upside and trying to break out of all that stuff because we know what McDonald's has been doing here. Bam, triangled them right back out. And that was quite the thank you, Mr. Brexit. Oh, it's the end of the world. Gee, I wonder where it's going. Right back up. Okay. Semiconductors still gapping ripper. Look at that monthly. Give me that Momo Hammer, baby, and going into the highs in the XLK. Oh yeah, Momo Hammer to the highs, and so whenever you get into higher highs, you're at risk of exhaustion. But we can take a look around here, and you got Teradyne. Teradyne on the monthly still hasn't taken all this business out. And it's chopped them up, but good in here. But with the rest of the semis hasn't gone. And if you go to the weekly, it's an inside week and an inside day here to start off and coming off of this stuff. So keep an eye on that. And Xilinx as well coming up if the semis want to keep ripping. Momentum Hammer here if it can take that. It would also be Momentum Hammer monthly, just running out a month. So if you go to the big boys, you go to Facebook, still just doing the waka waka after taking care of business in here, the weekly. Higher high, lower low, bam, 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 and then trying to resolve back up in there in the daily. got them down in here and triangled them back up. So no new actionable signal there, just hanging around the high. So a lot of straight momentum. Netflix, puker. And the thing is, it's really just testing the bottom of all these ranges here. So the question is, what does it do out of this? So it seemed like it was getting killed, but it's really just right back to the slight bottom of the range. No new actionable signal there. We just want to see how that goes. Last week was 1 bar rev strat, and what that means is it's an inside bar. Attempted one side, and when the earnings came out, rev stratted by taking the inside bar completely and 1 bar down. If we go to the Goog on the other hand, here you can see this. The higher high, the down, the inside weak, the up slight higher high, the lower low, and now the higher high. So there, this in here is in there. And so if you go to that monthly we've been talking about for so long, did take that to the downside and now comes back up. It was an inside month. So technically it's a variation of a rev strat here because it's an inside bar attempting to get countered in the last month. But really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months in here, trying to really get out of here. The good thing is you tested the downside and you came back. May as well go up and test new highs. The only problem is that this shorter term triangle stuff is about to play out. If you go to the daily, you're going to see this like so, and so we'll see if we can get through that. You're starting off as a daily momentum hammer. If we go to Amazon, you got earnings this week, and Amazon still a ripper. And Amazon technically at this point is still momentum monthly hammering up, but earnings can shake that up and often does. So we'll see how that goes. If we go to Baba's still monthly hammering up and starting off as an inside day. Here, it's still grinding out of this stuff. And you remember, everybody's got so viciously cremated if they didn't know what they're doing in this tight triangle business. You get killed in here, right? And then in here, oh, now it's the real breakout. We're on peak, and then down, and then inside day, and then back up. And there's been a lot of good moves out of this stuff. But you can see this triangle down in here, really chopping them up and spitting them out. And so oftentimes that's after that is when you get the real move because there's nobody left. And people throw in the towel and say, I'm never touching that thing again. And then off she goes. Right now, you got an inside day monthly hammer up potential combination. EXPE is Rev Strat month. And so we'll see how these travelers do. You know, it's, time to time talk about travel warnings because of all the terrorism and whatnot, but right now you are Rev Strat month to the upside, and TripAdvisor might be inside month, but trying to come out of here. If this was the exhaustive month down here, and this is a consolidation, here's the bigger, broader picture of that triangle, and then you go inside week. Here, take another shot. So like I said, when things get in a tight range, it's not uncommon to take out both sides first. Let's try the upside. Let's try the downside. Let's try the upside. Let's try the downside. And eventually that resolves. And oftentimes people miss the real move because at this time they've either been chopped up or they're used to it not going very far when they are in, and then they feel like they can't go after it once it's moving, but that's false. It's moving. It's inside week now to try and expand all that kind of stuff. You also have price line here going inside week here, and so this tight stuff, how do we get out of this? Looking like an inside month here, which would be interesting because they chopped them up, down, inside month, measured move, puker, takes them out, slight lower low, then comes back up, and now you have this big outside month again, and that caused that triangle. So price line should be interesting going forward. Right now it's inside week, and we'll take that with what it is. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't finish off the retail. All right, we got a Foot Locker, my bad. Foot Locker month and up. If we go to DG, these things, Dollar Tree and DG, still going toward the highs in Dollar Tree. So straight momentum, but you can see they're just creeping towards par. And so oftentimes when you get the creeper stuff like that, then they start to accelerate. So I would keep an eye on those because both those green on the month. We also have Gap Stores, momentum hammer daily here, and still a month and up. And if you look at the triangle on the weekly Gap Stores, you're going to see this here. If we go to Hain Celestial, inside week there, we'll see how that can resolve and chop them up and good in here. Now trying to see if it expand the range with the inside week. Nordstrom here, inside week, to see if we can get out of that smaller triangle and get up back into the bigger one. LB finally coming up on that inside month here, and a lot of people watching these retails, and like I said, we've been trading them, and whilst waiting on the inside months, doing some strangle stuff like that with the options. Okay, and then okay, I just missed a few there. That's good. Okay, back to the TAC. All right, W day. I think you'll figure it out. W day going inside week here, and this is a higher low than that, so the question is going to be strong enough to break through all that stuff on the inside week or drop back in. Western Digi goes inside week, trying to get outside of that business there, and the grander scheme of things monthly, big old puker, but now trying to come back out of this stuff. You're just at risk anytime you do, but that's why we look for the actionable signals. Inside week potential momentum hammer daily. If we go to Yelpster, Yelp real tight inside week. Real tight on the month too, which is the problem, but we'll pay attention to it. You got an inside week for Yelp. Just a few more. Home builders, XHB, been actually coming up out of this weekly here. You can see them got them like this. Thank you, Mr. Brexit. And like this here. And no new actionable signals, but what we are seeing is ITB here, much stronger. That's a more pure play here. And you see that coming up near the highs. So much stronger is the ITB and KBH. I pointed this out, breaking all this stuff down in the monthly. No actionable signal there, but I talked about this hammer here to take a shot at that. That's good because you had Pulte Home do this last week. And so here, up sideways measured move. So I'd keep an eye on Toll Brothers here. Tight inside week. Looking like an inside month, but if these things are really turning around, that'd be a nice inside month because it's sitting down on this here. If we go to AYI, Ripper, you can see what a strong chart this has been. However, right now we go inside week. And it's either measured move up into new highs or we can get it to drop back into that triangle. You go CTL. Inside week here, monthly combination, like so, inside month and up. I'll shrink these down so you can see them. FSLR. FSLR looking like inside month hammer, but we'll see how that goes because it was inside week and potentially would be RevStrat back down. Shooter counters the inside. And SCTY, still trying to walk up just a tad. You got yourself a little daily hammer here, and you've got that still inside month and up like that. If we go to TWLO, been a little mover of late, brand new one, but it goes inside week. Hello, inside week, because it went inside week and Ripper here last 2 weeks ago, and now it's inside week again. We'll see how that goes. We go to Wynn Resorts. Wynn Resorts still in this stuff on the month. Thought we were going to get them giddy up in their get along on the inside month in here and comes right back in. So you got these two spikes up. The question is, does this inside month, is this corrective activity of this down and then up and correct and roll back down? Or we're going to go sideways measured move and come out of here. On the weekly, you're going to see this triangle up in here. But if the daily, you see, watch, draw this and keep an eye on this. Big daily like that. Here, the higher high, the lower lows, the higher high, the lower low, and now see if we can shoot back up into there. So real interesting there because LVS is doing about the same thing, just a little bit tighter. But you can keep an eye on both of those as they line up with new actionable signals going forward. And finally, but last not least, Tesla. And everybody wants to know about Tesla, and I keep telling you Tesla's doing nothing. But there is, this triangle here. Now you're back in the middle of it, but coming into the month, outside of a big move this week, Tesla going to be inside month, right in the middle of all this stuff. So that's what we want. That's now we're talking. Now we get an inside month. Now you got my attention. But we still have a week to go, and who knows? Maybe some new master plan gets it blasting or puking or whatever. So we got a ton of earnings coming out. We got the exhaustion of the month. Certainly going to keep an eye on the, be aware of that. And then what, as the week goes on, who's going to stay inside month, like a lot of these oils. And that's going to be the focus to start off on the new month. All right, so hope everybody has a great weekend. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here at T3 Live.